Good morning. Um, Here we are, 1st of December, Tuesday. So we made it through the rain, which is good. It's a lot of rain. And I think I heard a little thunder. But in the afternoon, my husband walked the dog in the rain. So that's kind of our deal. Is we usually walk the dog together, except if it's pouring down rain, and then he usually walks the dog by himself, which um, it may not be very fair, but that's how it works. um, and he said when he got down by the river, he could see across towards New Jersey, where there were you could see lightning and everything, which is pretty cool. Um, so I guess it maybe was a little to the east of us, or northeast, something. So, yeah, you know, it's going to be, I was thinking about that. It doesn't feel like winter, but it isn't really winter anyway. It doesn't even become winter until, um, like, the solstice, which is like the 20th, 21st, something like that, later in the month. Good morning, Sue and Ruth. Yeah, so it's, I guess it's time for it to start to get cold, huh? Yeah, maybe. Although it isn't even really that cold yet. Um, I think everyone's perceptions have changed a little bit about this. People are, I think, outside more, and I know I start looking at 45 degrees, thinking, well, that's not too cold. it's pretty, it's pretty moderate, and I guess it is compared to like 20. But we're probably not gonna. It is pretty normal not to be that cold through December. I think, as I recall, January, February are actually January, especially actually the coldest, the coldest we get. But we'll see. I was thinking. I just I have a bunch of things, and this is something we can talk about today. Um, I didn't do much shopping over, the Black Friday, Cyber Monday thing, because I'm not really in favor of all that. I mean, I get it, and especially this year, it's necessary certainly to get an earlier start on things, because things are going to be online. We're going to have to order stuff and do all of that. Um, but this whole, like, people rushing to the mall to buy, um, you know, for a hopeful chance to spend their money on, um, you know, the the one thing that they have on sale and everyone's fighting for. Um, that's that really strikes me as a tradition we could get rid of. Um, I'm not really sure where it came from, or how it developed. I mean, I guess it's a combination of this kind of consumer culture that we have, and people's competitiveness, right? This idea that they want to have something that other people don't, or gets obtain something that's hard to get. And that's a great impulse, right? That impulse of wanting to achieve something and wanting to, um, kind of be ahead of maybe others. That can be a really powerful motivating force. But right, you can also we can see it can be used in a really negative way. And I think when we start thinking of collecting possessions as a goal, um, that we're getting pretty negative. I know around here I've got two kind of unhappy campers who can't get things that they need. Um, my son, both of my sons, right? My youngest son has been looking for this video graphics card because he wants to redo his computer, um, and he needs this special graphics card. So the thing with them is that they are almost impossible to obtain. They are people use them. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are home playing games and doing things on the computer, but also they're used in some processes that people do, mining Bitcoin and things. I don't know if you know about that, but it's a complicated thing. But suffice it to say, it's just takes a lot of uh, computer space, and uh, the you need these cards for that. So what happens is people buy them up, before they even are available. Um, they buy them up automatically, with like a robot in their computer that automatically puts this does the transaction. And the ones that aren't that way are bought up by scalpers who then turn around and want to sell it for twice as much on Amazon. So he's been struggling with that. And my other son has decided that he, along with everyone else in the world, wants a PS5, which is the new PlayStation that came out. Again, almost impossible to find. I would just read something online where there is sort of a scalpers network of people that have bought these and are now selling them at twice the price, or more. And they actually have more inventory in their scalpers union, I guess, than retail stores have. So there you go. Um, and we've seen this, certainly. We saw this um, in the spring, with more essential more essential products, right? Toilet paper and hand sanitizer and all of these things that were became very hard to get, um, to some degree because there were upsets in the supply chain, but in other degree it was because people were either panic buying it and storing it, or sadly a lot of people were buying it up and then trying to resell it. um, Luckily they did take some steps against that. Amazon wouldn't let people put stuff up like that, food and essential supplies. But it's fair game for everything else, right? And then we're getting into the Christmas season. We're going to see this with toys, right? And this is something you've seen this over the years, and I know with my kids, there was always a couple toys that were very hot, the hot toy to get, and if you could get that, wow, you really scored. And people would again play on this. So it would be impossible to find in the store. You'd have to get it somewhere else, online at a higher price. Um, so this is not new, right? I mean, this has been around for a while, but um, it's a system, and much like any other system that we have, it only works if people play, right? So the only way to get rid of systems like this is to stop playing the game, right? Um, and we can do this by working on this idea of santosha, right? Contentment, um, being content with what you have, knowing that none of these things are really that important, right? Um, you can wait. You could wait to get this thing. It's very funny too. My husband, as I'm thinking of this, my husband just got something in the mail that he had ordered months and months ago. I don't know if you know about Kickstarter. There's a thing called Kickstarter, which is an online program, not a program, it's like an online site where people who have really good ideas but don't have the funding to put them into play come on and make their case, and then if people think it's a good product, they will fund it. um, and then somewhere down the line, hopefully, you will get this finished product. But it has its ups and downs. Sometimes you know you'll fund it and it just disappears. Sometimes it just doesn't get funded, and then maybe you get your money back because it didn't work out. um, so it's kind of risky, but it's a fun idea. I really like the idea of people being able to get funding that they need to do something when it's so hard to do that conventionally. So my husband and my son, I think my oldest son, they do this frequently. And he got this kitchen thing, which is kind of cool. It's um, a baking tray with um, little inserts, silicone inserts that separate it, so you can bake multiple things at one time without them like getting mixed together. And it, so it sounds cool, right? It is sort of a cool idea, um, but over time, my husband, like, it got cooler and cooler. Like, in his mind, it seemed like a really good thing the longer it was taking. So then he bought extras. So he got like 3 of them. And so when it came, it was a massive box of all of these things. And he's looking at it thinking, why did I even get this? Like, what was I thinking? And that's kind of what happens a lot of times is we build these things up in our minds as being so important, so vital. But if we really sat back and waited a minute, when it came a few months later, if everything we bought, it took a few months to get, chances are most of the things, by the time you get them, you really wouldn't even want them. You might have realized that you were sort of caught up in the moment, like, oh my gosh, I really want this, but then you don't really want it. The same way we buy things, and then a month later, a few weeks later, they kind of just sit there. Um, so being very aware of this, you know, I guess tendency, that we have towards wanting things and then changing our mind, wanting something else. Um, it's not. It's a very natural, process. But again, take some time. Don't maybe rush into that. Wait and see. Maybe you don't really need it after all. Um, and that's a way to kind of dial that back, right? Dial back the urgency that you feel. And I think for me, um, a lot of times when I have this desire for something, the more urgent that feeling is, the more I'm suspicious of it, right? What, why do I feel like so pressured to get this thing? Maybe, it's more than just a simple need. It's something in here that this thing has triggered, right? So we want to be very cautious with that. Um, both of my boys have decided that they're just going to wait. They're not going to pay the scalper. They're going to wait until these things are available. It could be a long wait. I don't know, but I was proud of them that they recognized that the difference between wants and needs, and that you can make that choice. You don't have to play into a system that you don't agree with, that you think is unfair or unjust, right? So work on, during the holiday season, keep that santosha, that feeling and sensation that we are enough. We have enough. We may want a few other things, and it may be nice to have a gift or give a gift, but ultimately it's just a thing. Um, it's right here's a wonderful Western sentiment about this. It's the thought that counts, right? Not so much the thing. And I find this is so true as when you're talking, especially about, when you have little kids. It's one thing, right? Little kids, maybe they do need things because they don't have a lot of things, and they certainly don't have the ability to buy something for themselves. They don't have money. But when we get to be adults, it is the thought that counts, because honestly, most of us have all of our essentials. It's not everything is above and beyond that. So to know that someone is thinking of you and gives you a gift is the real gift, right? What they actually give you is kind of secondary. So remember that if it's not, um, if you have this feeling that you have to get something, you just have to spend money on it. You have to think about that. Why? What's driving that? Okay. Let's do a little bit of breathing, and then we'll do some asana. So sitting up tall, let's do that 4-8 breathing. So in for 4, out for 8. Relax. Relax the shoulders. My shoulders are feeling better today. I didn't do anything yesterday because it was pouring and rain was blowing in on the porch. So that means I'll probably work today and they'll hurt again. So that's great. Notice the breath. Notice how is the body feeling, right? Maybe do a little scan of the whole body, noticing if things are feeling good or if they're feeling a bit off. We can be more careful with those places that feel a little tense today. Okay. So we'll move a bit now. Just hanging your head down to the center. And we'll just stay here, breathe for a little bit. And then begin moving the head around, making a big circle. Keep the shoulders relaxed. so we aren't moving them. Couple rotations one way and then the other. Back to center. Lean forward. Moving around. One way and the other. Back up to your seat. Let's lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. We're going to extend the arms out in front. One arm on top of the other. Interlace the fingers. If this is really too rough on the wrists, you could just bring one hand on top of the other or hands next to each other, whatever you want to do. We're going to lift here. And then lower out in front. Come on back up and then switch whichever one you had on top. We're doing the other. And, whatever you want to do. This one's harder for me. Lift up. And fold forward. Back up. Let's bring the hands by the side and then interlace the fingers behind. Sitting up tall, gazing up, and then folding forward. You can keep the hands like resting on your body, or you could lift them up. It's your choice. Back up to your seat, arms wide. Deep breath in and then exhale, hands together. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, hands together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers, lift the hands, gazing up. And then right arm down, reach across. Switch sides. Back up. Left hand on right knee, right arm behind. Sit up tall. Take your twist. Back to center and moving to the left. Tabletop. Sitting back on the heels. Back up. Let's swing the right leg around. So we're up on that left knee. Arms overhead. And then hands to center. Take a breath. Twisting to the right. You can hook the elbow. Or be more upright. The body. Your choice. And then right hand down by the foot. Lift that left arm. Both hands down to the mat. You can walk them out a little. Lean in. And then maybe walk that foot across for your pigeon. Remember, you can draw that foot in close to the body to make this more available for you. Or you could do supine pigeon. If this really isn't working for you today, you can be on your back and draw that thigh in towards the chest that way. So you might be up here. You might be able to come down, see what's working today for you, and breathe. And back up. We're going to roll over a little bit on the right. Swing the left leg around. And we're going to extend it out in front. So you don't have to worry about trying to straighten this knee. It's good to have a bend here. We're just bringing everything to face front again. And then we can bring this left leg, I'm going to turn, the left leg under the right. It's the right leg on top. So you're trying to kind of stack your one shin on top of the other. If that doesn't work for you, having it further out is fine. Even you could do just a regular cross-legged pose. Deep breath in here. And then we're going to fold forward. One back up. We can have one ankle crossed over the other. Coming forward, we're back in tabletop. So however you want to get there, that's, there's nothing special about that. That's just an easy way to do it. Swing the left leg around. Standing up tall, arms overhead. Hands to center, take a breath, and then twisting left. Back to center, left hand down by the foot, right arm lifts. Both hands down to the mat. Walking into your lizard. And then maybe bring that foot across for pigeon. And breathe. Moving up, rolling onto the left hip. We're swinging the right leg around. And again, kind of pointing it towards the front. And bringing the right leg under, left leg on top. Breath in, fold. Coming back up. Let's extend both legs out in front. Breath in, fold forward. Back up. Bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. Sit up tall, deep breath, fold forward. Moving back up. With the knees, let's catch a hold of the toes or the feet. Lean back a little. Find your balance. And then see if you want to do some extension. Set the feet back down. Extend the legs. Let's point and flex the feet. And rotations. Sounds terrible. Going one way and then the other. Okay, bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to lower down, resting on your mat. Take a few breaths. Let's bend the right knee. We're going to hug it into the chest. Relax here and breathe. And then we're going to extend the leg. So you could keep the hands where they are. You could bring them up onto the calf. You could grab a hold of the toe, maybe, with the foot. Breathe. Bend your knee and extend the leg again. Switch sides. Hugging that leg in. And then extend. And release it. Extend both legs. Bring the feet a little wider. We're going to do a 5-pointed star. So arms extend to a T, palms facing up. Relax. Let your body rest on the mat. And then bring everything back to center. We're going to set up for supported bridge. You could also do regular bridge if you prefer. Bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat, hands by your side. Lifting up, find a place for the block, or if you want to just stay in bridge, we're pressing down hands and feet. And just breathe here. If the block feels uncomfortable, maybe you need to shift it around. Sometimes, if you're in the pose for a little bit, you can find that it begins to feel a little uncomfortable and you need to shift it. That's fine. Remove the block if you're using one and press back down to the mat. Soles of the feet together, hands can be above the head or by your side on the body, whatever you want to do. Relax here for a few breaths. Bring the knees back to center. Hug them in towards the chest. You can rock a little side to side. And then arms to a T or goalpost arms. We're going to start lowering both knees over to the right. Moving back to center, and then knees go left. Back back to center. Extend the legs, hands by your side. And then lowering down, however you like to do that. Finding a comfortable place to be in Shavasana. Just breathe. Focusing on the breath, the sensations in the body, what's happening right now. Keeping that peaceful, sense of being, right? When we are in the moment, we are at peace. We aren't anticipating what's next. We aren't worrying about what happened before. We are at our most I guess you might say aware, right? We are most aware of what's happening now. We are giving our full attention to this moment. And we can bring this awareness to this idea of wants versus needs, right? When we think about our needs are really very small. We need food. We need shelter. We need love. We need to feel of value. These are very, they can be very difficult. There are many people who don't achieve these things, that aren't able to have these things. But for most of us, they're achievable. They may not be your dream, right? Beans and rice will keep you alive and well, just as well as fine food. In fact, maybe better than fine food. Most of us have figured out how to take care of our needs. Right? The problem is we then confuse them with our wants. And what we think we want feels like a need. Right? So be aware. Be in the present. When we're in the present, we can see how our mind affects our view of what is truly necessary and what is optional. If we are really seeing things as they truly are, we can tell the difference easily. When we get confused and stuck in our past or in our future, like, oh, I think if I had this, this might happen, something good might happen to me, or, oh, if I had this, it would make up for this other thing that I feel like I missed out on a month ago, a day ago. In truth, those are the things that drive us. Our regrets and our wishes for the future. But remember that those things are solved within. Right? They don't come, solutions don't come from things we buy. In fact, the things we buy usually just cause us more problems down the line, right? So focus on that. Focus on being in this moment, being clear about what is real and what is manufactured in our mind. When you're ready, you could move a little and make your way up to a seat. We'll bring hands together, deep breath in and out. Thank you for coming to your mat this morning, for sharing yoga with me here. I hope you have a really good Tuesday. Namaste. Thank you. We're going to jump right into meditation as soon as I get my app going here, which I didn't do. So sitting comfortably, however you want to do it. Nice and upright, shoulders relaxed, steady breath. But, it can be a natural breath. You don't need to direct it in any way. Finding that soft focus within. Okay, we're back. um, so there's some meditation and some yoga for your day. Um, enjoy your Tuesday, and I will be back tomorrow. I don't know. I feel like I need to go back to bed. I feel very sleepy today. I don't think I will, though, but you never know. All right, see you tomorrow.